She never thought you would actually leave until you did. At first, it didn't even cross her mind. To her, you were just another guy in the picture, present, consistent, reliable. Someone she could lean on, count on, or maybe just keep around until she figured out what she really wanted. But as time passed, something shifted. Not in her, but in you. And that's what changed everything. Let's break this down piece by piece so you can understand exactly how this happens. Because it doesn't start with her losing interest overnight. It begins much earlier in ways you probably didn't even notice. The illusion in the beginning, she was charming, warm, flirtatious, playful. She laughed at your jokes, texted you back quickly, maybe even brought up the idea of the two of you being something more. And you thought to yourself, this is it. This one's different. But here's the truth. Eve was acting based on who she thought you were, not who you actually are. She had already built a version of you in her mind. A version that could solve her internal chaos. A version that could make her feel safe, validated, seen. And whether she realized it or not, she started performing. She showed up in a way that mirrored what she assumed you wanted, what she believed would keep your attention. It wasn't necessarily malicious, it was subconscious, but it was still a game. The investment trap, and then it happened. You started investing. Not just your time, but your energy, your focus, your vulnerability. You listened, you cared, you stayed. You showed her loyalty. You showed her sacrifice. And you told yourself that if you just gave enough, if you just loved hard enough, she'd see your worth and love you back the same way. You thought patience, consistency, and loyalty were the path to her heart. And that's exactly what she expected. Because she knew, or at least assumed, that's how you operated. She believed that as long as you were the one bleeding for the relationship, you would keep trying to prove your value. And the longer you tried, the more she could withdraw without consequence. See, it wasn't a relationship to her. Not really. It was a situation, a phase, something temporary. And you were the one holding on, waiting for it to turn into something real. The feminine frame trap, over time, she began to pull back subtly at first. Less excitement in her texts, less warmth in her eyes. The kisses felt colder, the attention more distant. And you leaned in harder. You doubled down. You thought, if I just show her more love, more reassurance, maybe she'll come back around. But what you didn't realize is that by doing so, you stepped out of your masculine frame. You gave up your groundedness, your power, your sense of self. You made her the center, and that's exactly when she started to lose respect for you. Now she had control, emotional power. And the irony? You were still thinking this was love. But for her, the game was already nearing its end. Why you didn't see it coming? You didn't see the shift because it felt natural, familiar even. It wasn't some grand betrayal. It was slow, gradual, almost invisible. You were too close to it to notice what was really happening. You told yourself, maybe she just needs space. Maybe I need to say the right thing. Maybe she's just stressed. You started overthinking, reanalyzing, trying to adjust yourself, when in reality, the connection had already changed. And deep down, you felt it, because now everything was about chasing. Everything was about fixing. And she was already emotionally checked out. Why you failed the test, what you didn't know is that you were being tested the entire time. Not in a cruel or conscious way, but through her instincts, her actions, her emotions. She wanted to see if you would stay strong, if you could lead, if you were grounded enough to remain centered even when she became distant. But the moment you started chasing texting more, proving more, sacrificing more, that's when she knew the dynamic had shifted. That's when she saw you as replaceable. Because whether she said it or not, Eve was watching how you handled pressure. She wanted to feel your strength, not just physically, but emotionally. She wanted to know you were the kind of man who didn't need her, because that's what makes a woman feel safe. That's what inspires respect. That's what draws her deeper. Instead, she watched you crumble. The subconscious game, here as the hard truth. Many women don't even realize they're replaying this game. When she first met you, she might have genuinely felt interested. She might have seen you as a great guy. But she also saw something else, someone who could help her ignore her own problems, her own emotional baggage, her own emptiness. By giving her attention, you became a distraction from her inner world. And in a strange way, you made her feel something again. But not because she loved you. For many, it's because your presence helped her avoid herself. So she flirted. She got close, maybe even became intimate. But it wasn't about you, it was about how she felt around you. And the moment you started demanding emotional depth, the moment you needed her to match your investment, she couldn't, because she was never really in it to begin with. Why she walked away, eventually she left, not always with a clear explanation. Sometimes she just faded, ghosted, became cold, or blamed you for not understanding her, and you were left spinning. But here's the truth. She didn't walk away because you weren't good enough. She walked away because you gave too much of yourself to someone who never truly earned it. You were loyal to a fantasy. She, on the other hand, was only loyal to her emotions, because that's what most people don't realize. Women aren't loyal to words or even actions. They're loyal to how they feel. And when the feelings shift, so does the loyalty. That's why she'll pass over 10 guys texting her, just to respond to the one who makes her feel something deeper, even if it's uncertainty, challenge, or curiosity. And that's the man she'll choose. Not the one who tries hardest, but the one who stays grounded, unshaken, whole. So what's the lesson in all this? Stop trying to prove yourself to someone who isn't emotionally present. Stop giving your loyalty, your time, your love to someone who hasn't shown up with the same intention. Your value isn't measured by how much you bleed for someone. It's measured by how much you willing to walk away when you're not truly seen. Let her feel the loss of your absence. Let her wonder what happened to the man who once gave her everything, because that's the moment she might finally see your worth. If this message hit home for you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content just like this. Your time is valuable, so protect it. And above all, stay grounded, stay strong, stay you.